Hello, welcome to Examining Fictional Heroes and the Authors Behind Them. My name is Wayne Browder. In this episode, we are going to begin delving into Chapter 3 of Sons of the Hawk by Robert E. Howard. So far, as we've gone through this, the main characters that we've met were Stockton, Stuart Brent, Mohammed Ez-Zahir, and Shirkuh. In this episode, we will meet another player in the drama by the name of Alafdal Khan. I'm going to read a few excerpts, and if I had not been clear at the beginning, I'm delving into the text of the story at this point, and after it's over, I want to bring out some of the more important characteristics of these people, or some of the things that stand out to me. Brent was torn between doubts and hopes. He swung between half-hearted trust and complete mistrust of the man, meaning Shirkuh, whom he's tried to make a deal with. Why should that offer for help not have been a trick to curry favor with Mohammed Ez-Zahir? Yet Brent realized that if Mohammed had wished to learn the reason for his presence in the hills, the Afghan would have been more likely to resort to torture than an elaborate deception. Then Shirkuh must be avaricious, and that was Brent's best chance. And if Shirkuh delivered the message, he must go further and help Brent to escape in order to get his reward. For Brent, a slave in Rub al-Harami, could not pay him 30,000 rupees. One service necessitated the other. If Shirkuh hoped to profit by the deal, then there was El-Barak. If he got the message, he would learn of Brent's plight, and he would hardly fail to aid a fellow Ferengi in adversity. It all depended now on Shirkuh. Brent stared intently at the supple rider, etched against the sharp dawn. There was nothing of the Turanian or the Semite in Shirkuh's features. In the Iranian highlands, there must be many clans who kept their ancient Aryan lineage pure. Shirkuh, in European garments, and without that oriental mustache, would pass unnoticed in any Western crowd, but for that primordial blaze in his restless black eyes. They reflected an untamable soul. When Shirkuh brought food to Brent that night, as usual, the American tried to engage him in conversation. Is Rub al-Harami a large city? Brent asked. I have never been there, returned Shirkuh rather shortly. Is Abd-el-Kafid the ruler? Persisted Brent. He is Emir of the Rub al-Harami, said Shirkuh. And Prince of the Black Tigers, spoke up the Afghan guard unexpectedly. He was in a garrulous mood, and he saw no reason for secrecy. One of his hearers would soon be a slave in Rub al-Harami, the other, if accepted, a member of the clan. I am myself a black tiger, the guard boasted. All in this troop are black tigers and picked men. We are the lords of Rub el Harami. Then all in the city are not black tigers? Asked Brent. All are thieves. Only thieves live in Rub el Harami. But not all are black tigers. But it is the headquarters of the clan, and the prince of the black tigers is always Emir of Rub el Harami. Who ordered my capture? Inquired Brent. Muhammad ez-Zahir? Muhammad only does as he is ordered, returned the guard. None gives orders in Rub el Harami save Abd el-Kafid. He is absolute lord save where the customs of the city are involved. Not even the prince of the black tigers can change the customs of Rub el Harami. It was a city of thieves before the days of Genghis Khan. What its name was first, none knows. The Arabs call it Rub el Harami, the abode of thieves, and the name has stuck. It is an outlaw city? It has never owned a lord save the prince of the black tigers, boasted the guard. It pays no taxes to any save him, and to Shaitan. What do you mean to Shaitan? Demanded Shirkuh. It is an ancient custom, answered the guard. Each year 100 weight of gold is given as an offering to Shaitan, so the city shall prosper. It is sealed in a secret cave somewhere near the city, but where no man knows, save the prince and the council of imams. Devil worship, snorted Shirkuh. It is an offense to Allah. It is an ancient custom, defended the guard. Shirkuh strode off, as if scandalized. They take up their march toward Rub el Harami the next day. Brent remembered that it had been said that only stolen goods entered Rub el Harami. Its inhabitants were the scum of the hills, and the men they encountered looked it. Brent found himself comparing them with Shirkuh. The man was a wild outlaw who boasted of his bloody crimes, but he was a clean-cut barbarian. He differed from these as a gray wolf differs from mangy alley curs. He eyed all they met or passed with a gaze half naive, half challenging. He was boyishly interested. He was ready to fight at the flick of a turban end and gave the road to no man. He was the youth of the world incarnated, credulous, merry, hot-headed, generous, cruel, and arrogant. And Brent knew his life hung on the young savage's changing whims. As they come to Rub el Harami, the captain of the guard comes out to greet them. Thy name's and business, he roared, glaring intolerantly at Brent. My name you know as well as you know your own, growled Muhammad ez-Zahir. I am taking a prisoner into the city by order of Abd el-Kafid. Pass, Muhammad ez-Zahir, growled the captain. But who is this Kurd? Muhammad grinned wolfishly, as if at a secret jest. An adventurer who seeks admission, Shirkuh of the Jebel Jawar. While they were speaking, a richly clad, powerfully built man on a white mare rode out of the gate and halted, unnoticed, behind the guardsmen. The henna-bearded captain turned toward Shirkuh, who had dismounted to get a pebble out of his stallion's hoof. "Are you one of the clan?" he demanded. "Do you know the secret signs?" "I have not yet been accepted," answered Shirkuh, turning to face him. "Men tell me I must be passed upon by the council of imams." "Aye, if you reach them. Does any chief of the city speak for you?" "I am a stranger," replied Shirkuh shortly. "We like not strangers in Rub el-Harami," said the captain. "There are but 3 ways a stranger may enter the city. As a captive, like that infidel dog yonder. As one vouched for and endorsed by some established chief of the city. Or," he showed yellow fangs and an evil grin, "as the slayer of some fighting man of the city." He shifted the rifle to his right hand and slapped the butt with his left palm. Sardonic laughter rose about them. The dry, strident, cruel cackling of the hills. Those who laughed knew that in any kind of fight between a stranger and a man of the city, every foul advantage would be taken. For a stranger to be forced into a formal duel with a black tiger was tantamount to signing his death warrant. Brent, rigid with sudden concern, guessed this from the vicious laughter. But Shirkuh did not seem abashed. "It is an ancient custom?" he asked naively, dropping a hand to his girdle. "Ancient as Islam," assured the giant captain, towering above him. "A tried warrior, with weapons in his hands, thou must slay." "Why then," Shirkuh laughed, and as he laughed, he struck. His motion was as quick as the blurring stroke of a cobra. In one movement, he whipped the dagger from his girdle and struck upward under the captain's bearded chin. The Afghan had no opportunity to defend himself. No chance to lift rifle or draw sword. Before he realized Shirkuh's intention, he was down, his life gushing out of his sliced jugular. An instant of stunned silence was broken by wild yells of laughter from the lookers-on and the men of the troop. It was just such a devilish jest as the bloodthirsty hill natures appreciated. There is humor in the hills, but it is a fiendish humor. The strange youth had shown a glint of the hard wolfish sophistication that underlay his apparent callousness. But the other guardsman cried out angrily and surged forward with a sharp rattle of rifle bolts. Shirkuh sprang back and tore his rifle from its saddle scabbard. Muhammad and his men looked on cynically. It was none of their affair. They had enjoyed Shirkuh's grim and bitter jest. They would equally enjoy the sight of him being shot down by his victim's comrades. But before a finger could crook on a trigger, the man on the white mare moved forward, beating down the rifles of the guards with a riding whip. "Stop," he commanded. "The Kurd is in the right. He slew according to the law. The man's weapons were in his hands, and he was a tried warrior." "But he was taken unaware," they clamored. "The more fool he," was the callous retort. The law makes no point of that. I speak for the Kurd, and I am Alafd al-Khan, once of Waziristan. Muhammad az-Zahir gathered up his reins and spoke to Shirkuh. Your luck still holds, Kurd. As they rode into the city, Alafd al-Khan drew his mare alongside Shirkuh's stallion. The Waziri was a bull-shouldered man with a bushy, purple-stained beard and wide, ox-like eyes. I like you, Kurd, he announced. You are in truth a mountain lion. Take service with me. A masterless man is a broken blade in Rub al-Harami. I thought Abd al-Kafid was master of Rub al-Harami, said Shirkuh. Aye, but the city is divided into factions, and each man who is wise follows one chief or the other. So, I'm going to end there for tonight. And next week, I will read a few more excerpts from chapter 3. So, I hope you enjoyed that. I would appreciate any comments or questions or criticisms or anything of that nature. Thank you for listening. Have a good night.